another disruption. Shalani here, also known as the Disruptive Nutritionist from Live Alive. And today I just want to share, it's just going to be a really quick post, an experience that I had last night and I'm still having actually. Us humans are a bit funny like that. I think that we can get loads of positive comments about what we share, what we say, how we look, and it just takes one comment or one look that we perceive as negative, and that's what we'll be focusing on. It won't be all the dozens of positive comments and things that we got. And so last night I gave a talk at a gym, and the talk was on some Live Alive truths, and the topics were water, which is a live post I did last week, a little bit of that information, and some information on my views on supplements and superfoods. And if you have followed me for a while, you'll know that I'm not a great fan of them. I don't think they are a necessary part of our daily diet, and a lot of people say, oh, it's really expensive to be healthy, and it's because that they're sort of feeling that they have to be taking supplements and all these superfoods and things like that. So basically, that's what I was talking about. And there were loads of positive comments, and people told me how valuable and interesting the information was, which was really, really great, and that was predominantly the feedback I got. But there was just a couple of comments that have been going on in my head since then. And those comments were, so what can I eat? Everything I've been eating is wrong, and is there anything you are a fan of? So I guess when you have a name like the Disruptive Nutritionist and a reputation for having different ideas on food and health as opposed to what's out there, commonly out there, then this is understandable. What I share is and why I share is to be helpful and also to be thought-provoking, because I think that it's really important in a world like we live in today, where many people are just operating on automatic pilot and not really thinking about the choices they make and what they're doing, and pretty much living life from outside of themselves, and often living someone else's life, and usually it's someone anyway. So it's not really their own life. They're not getting a lot of fulfillment from it. So my aim is to simplify things, and that's actually the name of a project I'm working on at the moment, interestingly enough. Simplify is coming up a lot for me, and especially in the work that I'm doing, working with people. I don't believe life was meant to be hard, but for some reason, us humans tend to complicate things. And look, I used to do that a lot, and I still fall in that trap now, quite frequently, especially when life's getting pretty chaotic and stressful. It's really easy to just, do the whole freak out. But when you've got choices to make about what's the right thing to eat and that sort of thing, and remembering that there's no one size fits all. So all you can do is really tune into you. Just step back, take a breath to really connect and ground, and tune into to what feels right for you. And all that stress of all the conflicting information, and I know there's loads of it and it's everywhere, but that stress of that information really does just fall away when you're able to step back and take a bit of a deep breath and just really think about the choices that you're making. And also stop second-guessing yourself and worrying about what everyone else is thinking, because they're not living your life. So really what someone else is doing and their impressions of it and what they might think about it has no bearing on your life and the choices that you make, because you're making them about yourself and your circumstances and your family. So as you go about your weekend shopping and whatever, try not to get too angsty about what is and isn't a healthy choice to make. Personally, I tend to like to think back to generations before us, and I'm not talking ancestral people, hunters-gatherers, because I think that life then is really quite different to 2016, and it's really hard to sort of identify with that. But more like our grandmothers and our great-grandmothers. And to be honest, if you think about it, they had less choices, and that's what we need to do, is cut down our choices more. Just they would have really made really simple, basic choices, and And that doesn't have to be boring. A lot of the comments that were made last night, well, there were a number of comments made last night about some of the food, the meals that I share and how delicious they look. And they're all made from very simple ingredients on a very tight budget and with limited time. So, and in fact, the person who made the comment about that he was eating all the wrong things said to me later that things only went pear-shaped when he came to Australia. So when he was back home in Brazil, it was a lot easier because they basically ate very simply from the food available to them and a lot of food that they grew themselves. And he said it was pretty much the sort of food he ate. There was the sort of food I was suggesting that people eat and the way they eat here. So you really don't need all the fancy stuff. Adopt the KISS principle, keep it simple, stupid. And I'm not calling you stupid, but it really does make life so much easier when we keep things simple. It's easier and it's more enjoyable. So as always, what I'm sharing with you are my views, my beliefs, my experience, and they're just provided for you for food for thought. So I love your comments, so please keep them coming, and thank you for listening. And remember that health and happiness is an inside job. So take a deep breath, as always. Listen to your body and live alive.